continue with Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, and we're on Siman 73, and our topic is hiring, lending, or leasing to an idolater. So it was right, very interesting topic so far. Okay, so we're up to sieve number 6, and it says, if idolater built a house for a Jew on Shabbos in a prohibited working arrangement, it is proper to be stringent and not enter it. This law has many halachic details. Okay, so let's try to understand from the beginning with commentaries. Just to remind us what we said last time. So we said initially, like if this non-Jew will take work to himself, to his house, like work on small things, right? And he's not obligated to work on Shabbos. And we said, for example, like he's a dry cleaner, right, or a launder. And we said we need our clothing by Wednesday. He can work on Tuesday, he can work on Monday, he does not need to work on Shabbos, basically. So there is no problem. So we said even if he takes this object to work on Friday afternoon, there is no problem. Right before Shabbos, there is no problem whatsoever. Right, so we said the last time, but the problem is when they work on a piece of land, right? So you cannot hide a piece of land. So, right, field meaning, unless we said it's like beyond the tchum of Shabbos, like beyond the boundary of the town, and then from there you go like 0.6 miles, it's like a kilometer or something, right? On if your field is there, so maybe there's some leniency, preferably not, but you can. So, and plus we said that he must be what? He must be contractor. So contractor is meaning that he's working for himself, not for us. What does it mean? Like we pay him salary for a job to be completed, right? And he's working for us. Like what does it mean? Like we pay him by day. So like from right for 24 hours, let's say, period. Somebody's leaving help or something. Okay. Right, but we said if he wants to build a house and at a Jewish neighborhood, like but everybody knows you're not living in that house, right? For example, a Jew bought a house and he wants to do a renovation, so he hires this contractor, and this contractor said, "I'm going to work on Shabbos," so it's proper to say, "No, you cannot work on Shabbos." I mean, of course, not afterwards, but initially it's proper to stipulate that he should not work on Shabbos and holidays, because everybody knows it's a Jewish house. So now people would suspect this Jew that he actually ordered him, right, to work on Shabbos. Okay, so again from the beginning, it is forbidden to build a house for a Jew on Shabbos. I'm not sure why it says. If idolater built a house for a Jew on Shabbos, right, it is prohibited in a prohibited working arrangement. So meaning that's not what the Jew would want it. It is proper to be stringent and not to enter it. Commentary. This applies to all Jews, not only to the one whom it was built. Other forms of benefit, such as selling the house to idolaters, are permitted. See Mishnah Brura 244:21. Wow. So that's tough situation. So meaning even he did something that we did not ask him to do, right? And actually opposite, we told him not to do. So Kitzur said it's like you cannot benefit from it. Okay, but you can sell it. So he should not enter, and even other people should not enter. This law has many halachic details. Number 18. Shulchan Aruch and Ramah 244:3 with commentaries. Right, see there. Halachic authorities differentiate between employment arrangement, whether the day laborers or contractors. So as we said, the contractors should be more lenient. The employer or others limit the time of the extent of the prohibition. Right. So it's not so simple. Right. But if he protested, he did everything, and this guy built anyway. He said, but also, like, if you think about it, it's not like he can build the house on Shabbos only. So he has been working more days, including Shabbos, so it could be some leniencies, room for leniencies. All right. But we have to be smart, like, and stipulate all of these things in advance, right? So meaning that he wants to, like, do a job, I don't know, like tiles or something, and he said, you ask him, and how long do you think it's going to take you? And he said, yeah, it should take me no more than 3 days. Okay, so he wants to start on Thursday. So he said, absolutely no. Absolutely not. No Thursdays in your. So he can start on Sunday, on Monday, but not on Thursday. Guess what? Even I would say Monday. They said 3 days, so most likely it's going to be 4 or even 5 days. Right? So make it consecutive days. Okay, so I mean, we have to, like, be a little smarter. Okay, number 7, a Jewish business is leased to an idolater, with Jew receiving fixed rental fee, an idolater retaining all profits. The prohibition of idolater performing the melacha for a Jew should not apply, since melacha performed by idolater is being done for his own benefit. That is, in order to attain greater profit. Nevertheless, we must consider the fact that onlooker may assume that the business was not leased to idolater, but rather he's a salaries employee who was hired by a Jew to run the business in a prohibited manner of Shabbos. Before we continue, just what are we talking about? You have a building. There's I think they call it mixed use. So what is mixed use? I mean, at least where we live, they call it mixed use. So I mean, you have on the first floor you have a store or like a business, some business property, and the second floor you have apartment. So I mean, right, there were really many of them like that, right? So it's very interesting. So meaning what? That you or just right, something like that, and let's say the guy who is rented from you, he decided to do a barber shop. Okay, so he's open on Shabbos, right? So people might think. So I mean, we're going to read explain more, like that you Mr. Jew open this barber shop, and you have not just working on that, right? So meaning you right. That's I think is a story here. This is a common knowledge. Thus, if it is a common knowledge that the Jew owns the business, this may be prohibited due to the appearance wrongdoing, sign. So meaning it was a Jewish barber shop, and now he said, look, no more for me working on Shabbos, and look, I'm going to rent to somebody else, to non-Jew, which is on one hand no problem, but the problem is that everybody knows that it's Jewish barber shop, right? Right. Thus would depend on whether the arrangement of hiring an idolater is in a prohibited manner, is a common arrangement, and thus there is a likelihood of confusion or not. Kitzur discusses a number of the cases that were prevalent in earlier times. Okay, so before we continue with halacha, let's do this introduction one more time and see the commentaries and try to understand. No, there is no commentaries. Okay, so one more time. If a Jewish business, so let's do this example, right? So you have a barber shop, right? If Jewish business is leased to an idolater, okay, so far so good. So meaning the owner is a Jew, but non-Jew is the one who is leasing. The Jew received fixed rental income, right? Fixed rental fee, and idolaters retaining all of the profits. Meaning he makes, I don't know, 5,000 a month, and he pays 1,200. Okay, so if he makes 7,000 a month, he still pay 1,200. That's it. I mean, he takes all of the profit. Okay. The prohibition of idolatry. So meaning, what I'm trying to say, they're not partners. They're not. Partners would share some profit and losses, but here they're not. Meaning, if this guy, this non-Jew, was sick for the whole month and he did not work, so he still is obligated to pay the rent. Okay. One second. With a Jew to receive a fixed rental fee, and idolater retaining all the profits, the prohibition of idolater performing melacha for a Jew should not apply. So meaning there is no problem whatsoever for a Jew to have a business, right, to have a building and rent it to a non-Jew. He can do whatever he wants, right, in that building. I mean, of course, it should be like discussed before what exactly he's going to do there. Okay. So should not apply. Okay. Since all of the melacha performed by idolaters is being done for his own benefit. I mean, nobody told him. So if he makes 5,000 and pays 1,200 as rent, I mean, he can and he wants to be closed on Sunday. Let's say Sunday they usually not close. On Sunday barbershop is open, like, I don't know, on the Monday and Tuesday. So I mean, it's his own business. But he preferred to work all 7 days. It's his own business, right? I mean, he can do whatever he wants. Okay. Close benefit that in order to right. So and he does it only in order to attain the greater profit, right? But we never told him. Nevertheless, he must consider the fact that onlooker may assume that the business was not leased to idolater. Right. So as I said, maybe it was a Jewish barbershop, and now he said, "Look, I'm retiring, and let a non-Jew work there." So like with all of the equipment, stuff like that. But now this guy is going to run the same barbershop. Maybe he did renovation, maybe not. All right, and no, not everybody knows that a Jew retired. Maybe he's not working, and he hired other people. Also possible arrangement. Right, so that's that would create Mari sign. Right. So meaning Mari sign, meaning that he hired other people, and that's it, and he's still his business, right? And he's working on Shabbos. Thus, if it is common knowledge that Jew owns the business, okay. This may be prohibited on appearance of wrongdoing Mari sign. So as an example, as we gave, I think it's a good example, right? But if it was a store, for example, it was a store, and he found a new business, right? That wants to rent from him, right? A new tenant, and tenant from store did I don't know, something else, like restaurant or something. I mean, or did the barber shop. Okay, so I mean, everybody knows that it used to be a store here. Now it's something else. So okay, so like we don't associate it with the owner right away, which is much easier. This would depend on whether the arrangement of the hiring and idolater is in a prohibited manner is a common arrangement. So meaning what? So it actually says in parentheses. So meaning what? If some Jews are actually doing this, if they, and unfortunately they don't want to close the business because business is too profitable, unfortunately. So this Mr. Jew is going to go to a synagogue. Don't think that he is going to miss the prayers. No, he's not going to miss the prayers. But other people are working for him. I mean, there is a way around, like temporarily. For example, somebody is new Balchu and he's trying to come back, but he's not ready to lose any money, any power, or he's ready to lose, but not so much. he's not ready to be closed on Shabbos. So meaning what? The way I understand. So if he would be close to Shabbos, on Shabbos he would lose a lot of customers. I mean, non-Jews. Right, so he would lose a lot of customers, so it's better for him even not to make any money, but not to lose customer, because maybe this customer next time he is going to come on Wednesday. Right, so in this case, he can talk to his guys and said, look, I'm going to rent you this business completely on Shabbos. So whatever you make on Shabbos, it's yours. Right, and sometimes they make so much in Shabbos, sometimes, right, that it's worth it for them to work for free or for very low pay on all other days, right? On Monday, I mean, there are people, but not as many as on Saturday. You understand? So it arrangement. Of course, it's not proper, but it's better than for him to work, or right, because he's not ready to close completely the shop. Okay. Right. The Kitzur discussed number of the cases prevalent in the earlier times. Okay, so let's see the Kitzur case, but I gave you, I think, more modern application. So let's see. One who owns a field or a mill may lease it to idolater, even though the idolater works them on Shabbos. However, it is forbidden to lease the bathhouse to him if the bathhouse does not actually belong to a Jew, but is leased to a Jew from idolater. He is to ask halachic authorities how to conduct himself with it. There's whether he may sublease it to idolater for Shabbos use. Likewise, one who manages tax collection agency, a brick factory, glass factory, and the like, he must ask halachic authorities how to conduct business with them in compliance with the laws of Shabbos. Okay, so a few commentaries. Let's do from the beginning and we try to understand. One who owns a field or a mill. So field, okay, so meaning it's outside, so meaning it's something that you cannot hide. Let's put it this way. Okay, field or a mill. May lease them to idolater, even though the idolater works them on Shabbos. So I mean, meaning the way we're going to see the commentary, meaning it's common knowledge that people lease these things, right? So meaning he has a mill, but he's not working on this mill. He from time to time he has a new tenant there who rents it, right? Or the field. So somebody's a sharecropper, right? Or sharecropper, or he just pay contractor. He just pays for the yearly rent of the field. Okay. So commentary. The standard employer-employee arrangement of work in the field. I apologize for this noise. The standard arrangement, the standard employer-employee arrangement of the work in the field or a mill was for employee to receive percentage of the profit, right? So that's what we call a sharecropper, right? Meaning 25%, 20, 30%, 50%. That depends what he does, right? For example, today we learned. Where did we learn? In a Rambam, right? So it could be an arrangement. So this guy, the owner of the field, said, if you're going to water my field 4 times a day, so meaning a lot, right? So you're going to get half of the crops. Okay, so meaning these people, the workers, it's not like they work for free. So meaning this guy, the owner, was investing in seeds and all other preparations, but he figured that if water is better, much better, 4 times a day, right? So it's worth it for me to pay him half. Very interesting. So again, the standard employer-employee arrangement, work in the field or a mill, was for employee to receive percentage of the profit, right? So percentage, like some people think that percentage is always like the owner gets more. Sometimes no. Sometimes the renter would get bigger part, right? And that's what I mean. I did not specify before, and he would pay like half to the owner, or like quarter to 1/3 to the owner, but he would be responsible for everything, for seeds, for absolutely everything, right? So different arrangement, but still the same idea. In such arrangement, the employee is considered the essence working for himself. Right, the more he makes, the better this business performs, the more money he has. Right, and if the employee is an idolater, he may work on Shabbos again because he works for himself. Okay, because he wants to make more money. Yeah, a Jew also is going to make more money, but it's irrelevant, right? It's not his concern, as we said yesterday, not yesterday, last time, right? So he's the main concern of this contractor, non-Jew, that he should make more money. Of course, he has to share with the Jew, but that's not his concern. Thus, when one leases a field or a mill to idolater, even if people erroneously think that idolater has was hired as employee. Nevertheless, they will also assume that the standard employer-employee arrangement was made and will not would not suppose that Shabbos law will be violated. Okay, so again, so thus when one leases a field or a mill to idolater, even if people erroneously think the idolater was hired as employee, nevertheless, they will also assume that the standard of the employer-employee arrangement was made, right? And not meaning without violating Shabbos laws, right? Meaning if it's like a contractor, there's no problem whatsoever, right? But even if it's not contractor, if it was hired employee, so we're going to see, we didn't get to it, how you can arrange with him, so meaning he's working for a Jew, right? And he's allowed to work on Shabbos. We'll see. Continue. However, it is forbidden to lease a bathhouse to him. So what is the problem with bathhouse? Let's see, 21. The standard arrangement for the bathhouse was that the owner to take all the profits and hire workers as a day laborer. Okay. Since it is common knowledge that this Jew is the owner of the bathhouse, the passersby would see melacha being performed in the bathhouse on Shabbos, will assume that the Jew who owns it is having bathhouse run for him in forbidden manner. It is therefore forbidden to lease the bathhouse to run on Shabbos regardless of the arrangement. Shulchan Aruch 243:1. Okay, so we didn't get. Let's try to explain this part. So meaning it's this part, this business of the bathhouse is an exception. That's how like it was arrangement. So with the stores, with the mill, some people would work on them. They would buy a mill and work on them. But some people like why do I need to work? Like I'm not Korach, I'm not a pharaoh. So that's the money is enough for me, right? The person can retire or just semi-retire, I guess, and just charge the rent and let other be like make money and pay him rent, and that's it, right? So that's what's common knowledge. It could be like this or like that. But in case of the bathhouse, I'm not sure why. I'm not 100% sure why. But the arrangement on the bathhouse was not to lease it to somebody else. It would only the owner and the workers. I'm not sure what is the difference. Not sure, but it's a good question. But at least, I mean, that doesn't matter what the difference is. But the bottom line is, I mean, we can draw the parallel. If the business usually not least, I don't have any other examples that will this should like more modern. I don't know. People is everything. So continue. Since this law is determined by the extent of his public knowledge, regarding the ownership of the business, as well as how the employer-employee relationship is structured in this particular time and location, right? See Orach Chaim and Mishnah Brura. Each such a case must be evaluated individually by qualified halakhic authority in order to determine whether the prohibition applies in that particular situation. Again, it's time, society, and what is accepted in society. More mode of like renting, mode of business. Okay. So again, it's right. So, but in the Kitzur time, and even before the Kitzur time, it's from Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch time. Somehow the bathhouses were not rented to anybody else. Okay. Continue. If bathhouse does not actually belong to a Jew, but it was leased to a Jew from idolater, so now he is to ask halakhic authority how to conduct himself with it. There's whether he may sublease it to idolater on Shabbos use. So meaning what? That official owner, and everybody knows that the official owner of the bathhouse is a non-Jew, okay? And he leased it to a Jew, right? And a Jew cannot work on Shabbos and Friday night as well. And people, let's say the people work, let's say, I don't know, they want to go to the bath on Friday night after work. For example, now, in the winter. In the winter, like Shabbos starts at 4 something, or 5 something. I don't know what is it. After 4, let's say. I don't know. Depends where you live. Let's say 4:45. Okay, 4:45 Shabbos start. Right. So, but the non-Jews come from home from work of 6:30, 7:30. They want to take shower, right? So the services are needed. So this Jew wants. To see if he can rent to a non-Jew, even as I said in the case of the barbershop, to give it to the workers completely, let them make a lot of money, I guess, work on Friday night and Shabbos the whole day, right? So we need to talk to Rabbi and see what he's going to say. Again, how the situation is different, that initially the business belongs to a non-Jew. Continue. Likewise, one who manages tax collection agency. So it's actually also a business, right? So the government would give the contracts, right, to individuals to collect to collect the taxes on behalf of the king of the government, right? And the collector can keep some percentage. Of course, it's not for free. Right, so that's one example. Right, in also there's not such a easy thing, right? In meaning that the people come in and come out, right? They check in and check out, right? Constantly. So, right. For example, when we stay in Israel and all these hotels, so even though there were many Jews, but there were many non-Jews. For example, in Jerusalem. Right, many people come non-Jews. They want to check it on Shabbos. What's the problem? I mean, for them, there is no problem whatsoever. That's which is very interesting. I'm not sure how they, what is the payment arrangement. I'm not sure what they did, but maybe of course they they did everything to like according to halakhic authorities. I mean, I have some specific hotels in mind. Right, I don't want to say the name, but some of them for sure. I mean, kosher, everything is kosher, so for sure they have some arrangement. But I think all of the workers were Arabs. I think maybe they had I don't know. Maybe some Arabs were partners, I don't know, and some Jews were partners. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. So you cannot close it. People wants to eat, right? The people stay in bed and breakfast. They want to have breakfast. Okay. Brick factory. Brick factory, I'm not sure. Maybe you cannot like shut down the ovens, I think. So I had one of my chavrusa used to have. He used to have pizzeria, kosher pizzeria. I mean, he has a few other partners. So he told me like that you must keep this oven working, stove, and it's a lot of gas. I think it was gas. It's a lot, because it must be hot. So if somebody comes and says, I need a pizza, so it must be ready in I don't know, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I mean, very fast. Or somebody calls you like to place an order. So meaning, right? Meaning the oven must be hot. If you're going to start oven right now, it takes, I mean, he told me maybe 1 hour, I don't know, 40 minutes, like a very long time to warm up. So it's waste of resources, basically. So a lot of resources. So maybe the same with the brick factory. Right? They have to burn, like cook bricks. Or glass factory also could be the same issue. Right? And the like. One must ask halachic authority how to conduct business with them in compliance with the laws of Shabbos. So, I mean, it's not so simple. Okay, so let's see commentary. Similarly, one who has a partner, right? So, I mean, all of this, the way I see it, it's like a brick factory, right? This glass factory is something with the oven that you cannot stop, right? Similarly, if one has a partner, is idolater and wishes to keep the business open on Shabbos, must consult competent halakhic authorities with regard to whether there is a permissible manner of doing on Shabbos. So it's not so simple, and I think if the way when we learn these business laws, it's not so simple. You have to have this arrangement before you start the partnership, not afterwards. Because if you start a partnership, so partners meaning 50-50, right? Or even 64, whatever ratios, but it's even numbers, right? And not even, I mean, but it's like set numbers, let's put it this way. So if you want this non-Jew to work like if you want your business to be working open on Shabbos, so you have to make an arrangement with them, like in a writing before you open the store or the business. So he's going to have Shabbos and Monday and Tuesday, whatever days he perform, and you're going to get profit for other days, right? And he's going to also get the profits for Jewish holidays. You understand? So it must be like clearly written down. In this case, like this business is his completely, right? Of course, there is some like you have to take into consideration like you stock also, right? Like if he's going to sell more merchandise, he's going to get more money, right? But it came from a common stock or from common business assets. So yeah, everything must be taken into consideration. It's not so simple. So I continue. Regardless, many authorities strongly discourage and even prohibit such arrangement in most situations. See Igros Moshe or Chaim. So, I mean, in general, Shulchan Aruch says, and it's from Talmud of Adazara, it says, don't make partnership with a non-Jew. Well, why is that? Were they bad people? They're not honest people? No, not because of that. So they say why? Because a dispute is going to come, right? For sure. Right, arise, right? This is going to arise, and he's going to swear, right? Swear in the name of the idol. So why? Because you, Mr. Jew, did not believe him, and now he has to swear, and he's going to swear with the most precious thing. So if he swear with the name of Yoshke and his mother and his uncle or something, right, or in the name of Muhammad, so that's. Muhammad is not an idol, but let's stay to focus on Yoshka, right? So meaning what? So now you cause him to mention the name of the idols, which is absolutely forbidden, right? That's why they say don't go in the business with them. It's only a matter of time when you're going to have disagreements, right? 1 month, 2 months, 5 years, doesn't matter. So that's why they discourage very much. Right. Right, this arrangement, okay. But, right, in some cases is forbidden, okay. So especially when people have mezuzah on the door. So sometimes unfortunately where we live there is many Jews have business and they're not observant, but they have mezuzah. And there is all of these nice mezuzahs they open on Shabbos, unfortunately. Understand? And big issue. Okay. So it's better for them not to have mezuzah, like the way I see it. I mean, of course, there is separate requirements, but this Hil HaShem, and they have mezuzah open on Shabbos. If they don't have mezuzah, I mean, they look as regular people, so without kibbutz, without anything. So maybe they're not Jew. Who knows? Okay. One who wishes to purchase a majority of the shares in a company that does business Shabbos must consult with halachic authorities. Sigras Moshe Orachaim, volume 4 and chapter 54. So I mean, very interesting. So if he wants to be majority owner, if it's minority, there is no problem whatsoever. For example, you can have a stocks. Of course, you buy a few shares of the stocks. You're not going to be the major person there. You're just one of the shareholders, right? So there is no problem whatsoever. There is no problem whatsoever. But majority, yes. So meaning it's in some sense it's your business. So because your business, right? So you're going to make all of the decision. So it's problem. Okay. So let me quickly check time and see. Okay, beautiful. All right, so let's do at least one more. And it says, we do one more. In the house of a Jew, it is prohibited to allow an idolater to perform melacha under any circumstances. Even if a domestic help is idolater who wishes to do work for himself, one must stop him. So today, what could be today? You have a living babysitter, for example, right? And she's off because you're off, right, on Shabbos, right? You're taking care of the kids, and she decided that she wants to clean up her room, right? She must be at home, right? But she wants to use the vacuum cleaner. What's the problem? Understand? But people from the outside will think, yeah, you told this. Let's say even they would not suspect that the Jew doing, but they would suspect that a Jew told a non-Jew to do to this vacuum cleaner or whatever. She wants to do her own laundry, right? She was busy the whole week, right? So we cannot allow her. So all of the things must be discussed before. So we had some things people ask, and then now I have a misunderstanding and tension with other people. Right? I'm not going to mention what, but just in general. So tension. But I told them why you did not ask before. You could ask me. I'm not this big posek in business or something. But at least whatever the situation was so simple. Right, and if you discuss it before, you have it in writing, and they must sign. Whether you can enforce or not enforce all of these things, but if you start talking to people afterwards, after the fact, they think that you're not fair, basically. Okay, so again, in the home of a Jew, it is forbidden to allow a daughter to perform melacha under any circumstance. So if she wants, for example, to sew, to fix your clothing, there is no problem, right? But it's something that make noise, right, or visible from outside, or it requires the light to turn on and off, something like that. So it would not be allowed. 23 commentary. When the work is taking place in the house of a Jew, it appears that the Jew instructed him or her to do the work on Shabbos. Mishnah Brura, 252:17. So that's the thing. So even though this babysitter, she does everything for herself. We did not ask her, right? She wants to clean up her house, to her room, basically, wash the windows, right? Right, but we should stop here. Mishnah Berurah, in the same place, cites Chaye Adam, who maintains that this is the case when this is the case, even if the type of work that idolater is doing is one of that is generally paid by a job, and not for the time worked. Right. Okay. CC for 13. Okay. No problem. So different kind of work. So meaning even they want to turn the light for you, right? I mean, it's a little different, right? So we should protest. Even if domestic help is idolater, who wishes to work for himself, he must be stopped. Commentary, see Mishnah Berurah 244:30. Who permits a maid to mend her own clothing in the house of the Jewish employer, because it is clear that she's working for herself, and it does not make any noise. So she goes to her room and she does sewing, not without the sewing machine, like with a needle and the thread, right? So it would be allowed. Okay, so I think we can stop here. So let's stop here. It's very interesting. So we're actually planning, just so you know, so we're planning to go all the like separate. We plan to do a separate class on Melachos, where you can ask and how you can ask non-Jew, all of the different situations. We're planning to give in details, but it's going to be part of the Wednesday class. Here we're just going whatever Kitzur says, like some collection of some halachas. Okay. So.